Welcome to Hounslow, a place where history and modern life intertwine at every corner. From Roman marching routes to Tudor coaching inns, from notorious highwaymen to the roar of jet engines overhead. Hounslow's story is as colourful as the community that calls it home today. And in this video, we're going to peel back the layers of time. We'll discover how Hounslow transformed from wild heathland into a thriving market town, and later into one of London's most diverse and dynamic boroughs. Along the way, we'll meet highwaymen, kings, soldiers, and eventually musicians, athletes, and comedians who took Hounslow's name onto the world stage. So let's begin our journey by stepping back nearly 2,000 years. Hounslow's history begins with the Romans, the Bath Road, today's A4. It was a vital Roman route linking London to the west. With roads came trade, and with trade came settlements. Hounslow's earliest role was as a place to pause, refresh, and resupply. By the medieval period, the area had grown around the Priory of Holy Trinity. Founded in the 13th century, pilgrims, merchants and travellers all stopped here. But it was the rise of the coaching era in the 16th and 17th centuries that really put Hounslow on the map. Imagine it, a dusty road stretching from London, carriages rattling along, travellers weary and in need of a rest. Hounslow became famous for its coaching inns, places buzzing with chatter, ale and the clip-clop of horses. There were dozens of inns here, each competing to offer the best stables, meals and beds. The George, the Bell and the Red Lion were household names for travellers. By the 18th century, Hounslow was one of the busiest stopping points in England. But not everyone was welcome on this journey. A danger lurked just beyond the town's edge. Hounslow Heath once stretched across thousands of acres, open, windswept land. Beautiful perhaps, but also terrifying. For centuries, it was the most notorious haunt of highwaymen in England. Travellers knew that leaving Hounslow's inns meant facing the possibility of being held up at gunpoint. Names like Claude Duval, the French-born highwayman known for his charm, became legendary. According to one story, Duval once robbed a carriage, but before leaving, danced with one of the ladies inside. Even Dick Turpin, immortalised in folklore, is said to have operated here. But the Heath wasn't just a criminal's playground, it was also strategically important. In the 17th century, armies used the Heath for training. King James II reviewed 13,000 troops here, turning the landscape into a vast open-air military stage. Slowly though, the wild heath was enclosed and built upon. Today, only a fraction remains, a green echo of its wilder, darker past. With the highway era fading, Hounslow reinvented itself again. The 19th century was a time of rapid growth. The coming of the railways made long-distance coaching obsolete, but Hounslow adapted. Markets flourished. Farmers from surrounding countryside brought in livestock, vegetables and goods, selling them to the growing town. The high street became a hive of activity, the place where you went not only to buy and sell, but to gossip, meet and socialise. Entertainment thrived too. Theatres and music halls drew in audiences with plays, variety acts and popular songs. Imagine the glow of gaslight outside, carriages dropping off eager crowds. Hounslow was now firmly established as a suburban town, a bridge between London's city bustle and the countryside further west. The 20th century brought seismic change. First came suburban growth. As London expanded, Hounslow absorbed wave after wave of new housing estates. The sleepy town became a bustling commuter hub. But nothing would reshape Hounslow more than Heathrow Airport, opened in 1946. Heathrow transformed the local economy. Land that had once been farmland and market gardens gave way to runways, hangars and terminals. Jobs poured in, not just in aviation, but in hotels, shops and services. The downside? Noise. Planes roared overhead, a constant reminder of Hounslow's new identity as the neighbour of one of the world's busiest airports. But for many families, Heathrow represented opportunity, a steady wage, a step towards the future. It also meant Hounslow became one of London's most international boroughs. Workers arrived from Ireland, the Caribbean, India, Pakistan, and later from across Africa and Eastern Europe. Each community brought its traditions, foods and festivals, giving Hounslow the multicultural character it's famous for today. And from this melting pot of change, culture thrived. Phil Collins, born in Hounslow in 1951, would go on to become one of the world's most successful musicians. First as a drummer and singer of Genesis, and then as a solo artist selling over 100 million records. Comedian and actor Sanjeev Bhaskar grew up here. His hit series Goodness Gracious Me and The Kumars at number 42, reflecting the humour and energy of British Asian life, much of it rooted in boroughs like Hounslow. Sophie Ellis-Bextor, known for her chart-topping Murder on the Dance Floor, has fine family links here also. And who can forget Olympic champion Sir Mo Farah, one of Britain's greatest long-distance runners, settled in Hounslow after arriving as a child refugee. He trained here, went to local schools and still speaks fondly of the community that supported him. Artists, musicians, comedians and athletes, all shaped by Hounslow's streets and schools, have carried its name far beyond West London. Today, Hounslow is a borough of contrasts. On one hand, you've got the historic green space of Osterley Park, once a grand Tudor estate, now a National Trust jewel. On the other, you have the glance and bustle of the Treaty Shopping Centre and new developments around the High Street. Food tells the story best. In a single afternoon, you can sample Punjabi curries, Caribbean jerk chicken, Polish pastries, and good old-fashioned British fish and chips. Few places reflect London's diversity better than Hounslow. It's also a community that honours its heritage. The remains of Hounslow Heath remind us of highwaymen and armies. The High Street continues a tradition of trade, and the multicultural festivals celebrate the borough's role as a gateway to London and the world. Hounslow's history is one of constant reinvention, from Roman roads to roaring jet engines, from highwaymen to household names. It's a place that has always lived at the crossroads of change. And the best part, its story is still being written. Every time a new family arrives, a new business opens, or a new voice carries Hounslow's name to the world. Thank you for joining me on the journey through Hounslow's past and present. If you enjoyed the deep dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And tell me in the comments, what's your favourite story or memory of Hounslow?